In proof 2, all we're given is the quadrilateral, the kite ABCD, ABCD. We're told that that's a kite. And we are being asked to prove that angle B is congruent with angle D. And that is actually part of a definition of a kite, but we're being asked to prove it. So how you have to think through, how would you prove this? Well, this is an example of where we would want to use an auxiliary line. So if I put in the diagonal AC, the line segment AC, I've just created two triangles. And what do we know about a kite? We know that that side is congruent with that side, and we know that this side is congruent with this side. And you're allowed to mark up your diagram to help you, to help yourself. And then, of course, we know something is always congruent with itself. So therefore, triangle that I just created, triangle ABC, is congruent with triangle ADC because of side, side, side. Well, if these two triangles are congruent, that must mean that angle B is congruent with angle D because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So rather than just saying, well, look at the diagram, let's put those statements, that reasoning process, down in my proof. So all I can start with so far is that I have kite ABCD, and the reason for that is given. Okay, so now we can say that AB is congruent with AD. That's these two segments. And I'm going to put side there because I know I'm going for a congruency proof. So I like to mark where in my proofs where I've shown where sides or angles are congruent. That's just to help me, if some of these proofs get kind of long, to know, all right, I got a side up there. All right, I proved an angle congruent further up in my proof. And since it's the same reason, I can put another statement that has the same reason, which would be that BC is congruent with DC. And that's another side. And what would be my reason? You could put definition of kite. Or you could put a kite has two pair of consecutive is an important word in the kite. Consecutive congruent sides. So consecutive sides AB, or adjacent congruent sides, that would be another word you could use, but that's because of the kite. All right, now how about that third side? How about that diagonal I drew? Isn't it true that AC is congruent with itself? Yep, and our reason for that is identity, or the identity property. Whenever you say something is congruent with itself, it's the identity property. And as I look up in my proof, I have side, 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 sides, sides, side. I know that these two triangles are congruent. So I know that triangle ABC is congruent with triangle ADC. Make sure you've named the triangles in the right order. A corresponds to A, angle B corresponds to angle D, and angle C corresponds to angle C in those triangles. And my reason is going to be side, side, side. Now that I have two congruent triangles, I'm going to put the therefore in because I'm just about to prove what I've been asked to prove. Angle B is congruent with angle D. And why can I say that? Because corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent.